Grab your cocktail and get ready for this episode of the Old Fashion Masonic Podcast. Welcome to the Old Fashion Masonic Podcast, where we talk all things Freemasons while drinking an old fashioned. I'm Brian, and guess what we get to talk about today? That's right, you saw the thumbnail. You see the thumbnail. Why is Brazil and the Congo in and Russia out? So we'll give you just a quick brief on what happened recently at the Grand Lodge of Texas. So I'll paraphrase some of this. So the Grand Orient of Rio Grande do Norte. This is in Brazil. So Brazil, like other independent state Grand Orients in Brazil, they originated from the Grand Orient Brazil when other lodges in several Brazilian states ended their affiliation. They go all the way back to being created in 1973. So the Grand Orient of Rio Grande do Norte is now recognized by the Grand Lodge of Texas. So any Texas brothers who want to travel to Brazil to have some Masonic intercourse, there you go, gents. Also, the Grand Lodge of Congo. Had to look that up. That now, which they received a request for recognition in September of 2024. Fast forward, this Grand Lodge of Congo was consecrated in October of 2000. It's about 25 years ago by the Grand Lodge of Senegal. So the jurisdiction of the Grand Lodge of Congo includes 33 lodges located in the states of the Central African Republic, I'm reading notes here, the Republic of Chad, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. So they are now recognized by the Grand Lodge of Texas. So we've got some more places, Texas Masons, that we can travel. But let's talk about Russia. And before anybody tries to make it political, this is not political. Every sovereign state, they have the ability to recognize and unrecognize and do all that. Now, just because a Grand Lodge is no longer recognized doesn't make them clandy. We leave that to the clandies, right? That's a different thing. So, essentially, there's been a lot of things going on in Russia. So I'm going to paraphrase some things that some notes that I have here. So the Commission of Information for Recognition on the Conference of Grand Masters of North America reported on Freemasonry in Russia on the annual reports in 2005, 7, and 2008. In those years, it was reported that a group of Russian Masons had formed a second Grand Lodge called the Regular Grand Lodge of Russia. The Grand Master of the original Grand Lodge of Russia is Andrei Bogdanov. You've seen him on this podcast before. Check out that episode if you'd like. Who is considered by many sources to be a political tool of the Kremlin. I will read this sentence back to you. The Grand Master of the original Grand Lodge of Russia is Andrei Bogdanov, who is considered by many sources, quote, to be a political tool of the Kremlin. In correspondence from July of 2024, received from the Grand Secretary of the Grand Lodge of Kazakhstan, which we talked about that on this channel, we reported it here as well. It was alleged that in July of 2024, the Grand Master Bogdanov of the Grand Lodge of Russia attempted to seize power in the Grand Lodge of Kazakhstan by organizing an illegitimate assembly in the city of Almaty. So the claim goes on to say they conducted an illegal installation of Sergei Kravchenko as the Grand Master of Kazakhstan. So fast forward, this and a lot among many other actions. I mean, it's not really sovereign when that type of stuff goes on. So, as of right now, the Grand Lodge of Russia is no longer recognized in the state of Texas. I will tell you something interesting. I got on very good authority that Dennis Bogdanov and Sergei Kravchenko, look at the name across, I can barely speak English, that they plan to show up at the Conference of Grandmasters in North America and maybe plead their case. So it's quite possible that maybe that will overturn next year. Who knows? But it's also possible that more Grand Lodges in the United States may follow suit with Texas and no longer recognize the Grand Lodge of Russia. So really interesting. There are committees in every jurisdiction that this is what they do. They recognize, unrecognize, and a lot of people say, well, why don't we just recognize everyone? Well, one, you wouldn't do that. And you're also assuming that they want to be recognized, right? We all know the Clandy man says, oh, we just don't want to be recognized. He secretly wants to be recognized. We know all that. He's signing all these bogus charters, but that's a whole nother thing. So just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. Brazil's in, Grand Lodge of Congo's in, Russia, they're out for now in Texas. So thanks for watching the Old Fashion Masonic Podcast.